Okay, guys, we're going to start our order of operations. And what that is when you have several things to do in a problem and you have to do it in just an exact order. That's why it's called order of operations. It's the order you do it in. So you probably remember from fifth grade talking about, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, PEMDAS. So there's actually 4 steps you have to do to follow to do an order of operations problem. First, you take care of anything with parentheses, like that. Second, you take care of any exponents, which we've been practicing, like that. Then you take care of any multiply or divide problems. Now, the kick with this, you have to do it from left to right, like you read a sentence. And then finally, you add and subtract. And again, you do that from left to right, like you read a sentence. Now, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Where they get that from is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS. Now, I like those little sayings. I'm all for little sayings to help you remember stuff. But the thing, I don't usually write it out like this, because then it makes it look like there's 6 steps and there's only 4. So I usually write it like this: the M and the D together, and the A and the S. And you can still use PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But I think if you write it like this, it helps you to remember that multiply and divide go together, and add and subtract go together. So let's go up here to the first one. And I suggest that before you do any problem that you write it down, is to write down this PEMDAS, and go through and ask yourself, okay, looking at this problem right here, is there any parentheses? No, there's not. Is there any exponents? No, there's not. Is there any multiplying and dividing? No, there's not. Is there any adding and subtracting? Well, there's both. Now, I don't want you to think because the A comes first, you have to add first. Remember, these are a group and they go together, and you do them from left to right. So you're going to go across here like you're reading a sentence. So you're going to do this first, and I suggest you underline what you're going to do, especially when the problems get bigger. That's going to help you. Just go ahead and get used to doing that. So when you subtract that, you get 22. So notice what's underlined, I bring down the answer. And then what's not underlined, I just bring down. So I brought down the plus and the 15. Now all I have left to do is 22 plus 15, which is 37. One step at a time. Okay, so we look at this one. So again, we would do our PEMDAS. I look at this problem. There's no parentheses. There's no exponents. Today we're not going to have any of those. We're focusing on these last 2 right here today. Do I have any multiplication or division? No. Do I have any adding and subtracting? Yeah, I have several. But what do? If that's all I've got, I do it from left to right. So I'm going to do these first. So I'm going to add that. That's going to give me 114. Bring down the minus 81 plus 20. And then I'm going to ask myself, is there any more adding or subtracting? Well, yes, there is. There's both. So I do it from left to right. So I do that first. I put that in my calculator. Gives me 33. Bring down the plus 20. And then finally you add that, because that's the only thing left to do. And there's your answer. Now we're going to move to multiplying and dividing, but it's still just getting a habit. That's really ugly. So do I have any parentheses in this problem? No. Do I have any exponents? No. Do I have any multiplication or division? Yes, I have both. So if I have both, I do it from left to right. So I'm going to do this first. 64 divided by 16 is 4. Then bring down the multiply by 8. Do I have any more multiplication or division? Yeah, I've just got multiplication. And 4 times 8 is 32. One step at a time. Okay. Do my PEMDAS. Do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? No. Do I have any multiplication or division? I've got a lot of both of them, so I do it from left to right. So I'm going to do this first. 5 times 8 is 40. Bring down my divide. 10 times 3. Do I have any more multiplication or division? Yes. I have 2, so I have to do it from left to right. So 40 divided by 10, is 4. And then bring down the times 3. And then 4 times 3 is 12. And then one more with a little bit of everything. Do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? No. Do I have any multiplication or division? I have division, and it's in the middle of the problem, and that's okay. You bring down that 93. You bring down that subtraction sign, and you do 81 divided by 9, which is 9. And then you bring down the plus 35. But see, underlining how that helps you to know what to bring down, because what's not underlined you don't bring down. What is underlined you just bring down the answer. Do I have any more multiplication or division? No, I don't. Do I have any adding or subtracting? I have both, so I do it from left to right. So I'm going to subtract here. That's going to give me 84. And I'm going to bring down the plus 35. And that's going to give me 119. So these are good example problems to look at if you get confused on your practice work.